Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, welcoming Amy Lee from Evanescence, who has a new children's album called Dream Too Much. Make sure to check it out. Great time behind the velvet rope. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. All right, Amy Lee.
Hi.
So how does the lead singer of a rock band make a children's album? That's a perfect place to start. How does it happen?
I had a kid, so that was cool. It was amazing, actually, very inspiring. It inspired me in a lot of ways musically, and I wasn't totally expecting that. I mean, we're singing all the time. He doesn't sing yet, he just repeats things back to me, but he definitely likes the album. Tailor-made to fit his interests, so.
So he's like, I have a kid, let me make a children's album.
Yeah, of course.
I like that. I like that progression.
Yeah, I love it. It's cool to be able to do something different too. I mean, it feels so good just to be able to branch out in any kind of different area where you can be creative and not feel like you're stuck to any sort of box set of rules. Box set of rules? I don't know. Maybe it's a box set of rules.
Box set of rules.
Evanescence has a box set coming out as well. Everyone check it out.
Let's plug it. That's it. That might have been the best unintentional plug of all time.
Mistake. That's great.
Speaking of Evanescence, for those who don't know, Amy Lee's the lead singer of Evanescence. You guys have sold a gajillion albums, and congratulations. So you guys are touring and box setting, and is it crazy to still, after all these years, it's now been, what, 12 years since you were like the breakout stars of the planet?
It's been longer, I think. Is it? Well, this is 2016. Yeah,
it's 04.
Right. It was
How
03.
do I know more
It was 03. I was there.
03.
03. Yeah, so you're 13, actually.
It's true.
It's been a minute. And we were doing it before then, so.
When that all happens, you got to walk me through the process. I remember when it was like enormous. Like you had the biggest song on the planet. Like, what was it like for you guys?
You know, in the moment, you don't really, at least for me personally, you don't really absorb it. It's like you're just really, really busy, and there's constantly just as much as like on the outside, like there's great stuff going on. There's like fires to put out. It seems like 5 times a day. So you're just like running and going and doing this and flying to this crazy country and not sleeping and playing shows, and they just keep getting bigger. And then when the tour is over, like a year and a half later, and you go, then you like turn on your music video and go, wow, did that really happen? That's awesome. So I feel like I kind of registered all of that a little bit after the fact.
Do you guys have any idea? I mean, like, do you walk into it, do you walk into 03 and are you like, all right, we've got a great song, we've got a great album, or it just hits? Like, how does it work?
I think it works different for everybody. I'm sure it does, but you just have to really, really, really believe in what you're doing, even when you feel like other people don't. I mean, there's a lot of those moments where you're like, well, I might be crazy. I hope I'm not, but I'm just gonna bet it all and just go for this and do this all the time until, you know, it either works or it doesn't work, and they work for us.
People were obsessed with you. Was it crazy? Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, you're a beautiful woman, obviously, but were people like, people were obsessed. You were like the sex symbol in music for like.
What?
Yeah, like men were like was it too much? Like, is it too much attention when it's happening when you achieve that type of level of fame that quickly?
Well, I don't remember it exactly that way, to be honest. But having a lot of eyes on you and a lot of ears on you, like everything you say and do all of a sudden at 21, you know, is everybody's going to hear it and forever, you know? It's a lot of extra weird pressure that is, I mean, literally I turned 21 the day we took that album cover for fall, and that was my 21st birthday. And all of a sudden, it was like, there's a microphone all the time, you know? So there's a lot of lessons that I think I kind of learned the hard way, but I feel better now. It took me a minute to adjust. Like, that whole thing, it definitely is super weird.
How is the Amy Lee different today than the 21-year-old Amy Lee?
Oh, I don't think we have enough time.
She's like, this just turned into a therapy session.
I am the same person, but I mean, I've grown so much since I was 21. Learned a lot of things, learned how to be stronger in the right ways. I think I was a lot more afraid back then. Like, a little more insecure, a little more unsure about my gut instincts. And I've become, just through trial and error of learning, like, if I had just done it my way in the first place, we'd be better off than we were now in whatever situation, whether personal or business. But I don't know, you get confidence and you learn what you're doing as you go. So I just sort of learned what I was doing all along.
So when you're making like a children's album, how
Right.
is that different from, you've done a solo album, you've done the Evanescence stuff, how is doing something like a children's album different from everything else you've done?
Well, it's super different. I mean, the music is completely different. The idea of the audience is completely different. But it's something that I can completely relate to because I'm relating to my son, and it came from a very natural place of just talking to him, singing about things that he's interested in because it's coming out of his mouth, and I don't know where it came from, like making songs out of that. But also from my own childhood. Being a kid makes you revisit seeing the world for the first time, and that magic is really, really inspiring and cool. So I found myself, like I think all parents probably do, like just seeing things through a new set of eyes again in a lot of ways, and that made me want to write music, and it's totally different, and my family's in it, and I made a bunch of music with my dad and my sisters and my uncle and brother. Just really, really an amazing gift to be able to combine my family and us hanging out and being a family together like we've always been with my work, and make it a fun project that we could all walk away with together and listen to and share forever. I'm really proud of it. It's made my family super happy too.
Is it like two different worlds now? So if you're on tour with Evanescence and you're playing obviously the new stuff, the old stuff, versus this type of the other end of the Amy Lee world, do you end up living like in two worlds?
Yeah, it's like my alter ego. It's
That's
like
so funny.
darkness rock and roll, and then it's like rainbow cupcakes. It's so fun to be able to do that because just doing the same thing over and over, it's not necessarily it's always the same thing, but kind of like the same mode, the same mood, the same things, same questions even that people want to ask you. After a while, you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to like do the opposite. I just want to do the opposite for 5 minutes. It's going to feel really good, and it does feel really good. But it actually kind of makes you better at doing the other thing because you've had that runaway. You ran away from home. You had the outlet. You went crazy and made a kid's album. It's like, okay, now I'm going through all this. I can't wait to get back on the tour. I can't wait to get back on stage with the band and for the lights to go out and just for the bass to drop, It feels like more complete to be able to go down different paths and be your whole self in different places.
Has it surprised you? I mean, we see so many artists who have a hit single or win a Best New Artist award at the Grammys, and you never hear from them again. Here you are 13 years later, Evanescence is still popular, you guys still tour, people are still coming. Does it still, is it blow your mind that the fans have stayed with you, that you've been able to accumulate new fans, that the band still has a career?
It's really cool. That's not something that you can bank on. Like, I definitely have had several moments where we were working on new material for another album or whatever we were doing and just thinking, okay, like that might have been it as far as like, woohoo, everybody knows who we are and cares and likes it, and this may be just for me or for us, so I better make it something I really, really love. And that has been like the mantra all along. The theme is like, tune out everything else. It's great that everybody loved this song and this song and this song so much. That's awesome. But that came from a place where I wasn't considering the pressure of everybody else loving it and that they need to love it again. It came from a place of me by myself in my room creating something new. That has to happen again. You're never going to recapture that, whatever that is, which is beyond a genre or a sound. You're never going to recapture that magic unless you tune out the world again and go back to that place where you're literally just creating because it feels good. So I always try to go back to that place.
Was there a fear? You come out with such a bang. Is there a pressure, a fear right after that where it's like, okay, now we need to keep matching that level of success? It's hard.
I don't run that race. I really don't. We've run away. Like I kind of disappear for a couple of years after we do our big album tour cycles every time.
You're like, I've had enough.
Not even, I mean, yeah, that definitely, yes. But almost just like, okay, I have to regroup and like remember just how to be myself, because you get so wrapped up in it all that it becomes you, and I don't want that. I want to be me, and it can't rely on other people's acceptance or approval. It's got to be something that I came to on my own, you know? So no, I don't usually feel that, oh man, we did really well, we better work extra hard now. That's baloney. If you did really well, great, go have a glass of wine and a piece of cake and enjoy your life for a minute so you have something else to write about. Ice cream and cake. Wine and cake, whichever. Ice cream, wine, cake.
Children's album number 2, Ice Cream and Cake. I'm patenting the title now.
Yeah.
I want producer credit.
Featuring the hit single, Mommy Time.
Mommy Time.
Yeah.
When you look at the industry, how's it changed since when you broke into now, for you?
Oh, it's changed a lot. Technology has been, I think, the biggest change. Just the way people consume music is completely different. The way I listen to music, it's totally different. It used to be about going and buying a CD, you know, and looking at the artwork and saving that CD. I mean, honestly, everything now is about instant.
Yep.
And I also think it's not so much about albums, it is about songs, like just music in general. So there's something really freeing about that for me, actually, because it can be a lot of bit daunting to think about, okay, we're going to do a full album. It's got to be 12 songs plus like 3 B-sides, remixes, redos, like whole thing, strings, bam, blah, blah. It turns into this giant thing, which is awesome. I love it. More is more. But sometimes it's kind of like, I want the instant gratification to be able to do what I'm thinking about right now, what's really inspiring me right now, and have it come out in a couple months, you know? It's just really awesome to be able to do that. I did the covers thing, I don't remember, I think it was the beginning of this year actually that it came out. Just like 4 songs by myself, made them at my house. I had a little bit of help, but for the most part I made them myself. And from recording them to putting it out, like I put the last touches on it and it came out like a month later or less. So it didn't used to be able to work like that, and I love that creatively, just for it to be able to keep up with the pace, you know?
What about social media? What do you think about?
Yeah, that didn't even hardly exist.
What about like being a public figure in social media today? Yo, that's crazy. Like,
it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Everyone's a celebrity. There is like no privacy anymore.
It wasn't like that in 04 though.
No.
Like, what?
03.
03. You know what? Like, I'm older than you, so.
Are you sure?
How old do you think I am?
Don't make me do that.
It's okay. You can insult me.
You think you're older than me?
I know I'm older than you.
36?
I'm 38.
Oh. That's cool. That's a good year to be. I like 38.
Couldn't you have said, like, you look younger?
You do. I guess 36. Didn't I do the right thing? Isn't that the proper thing to do?
I think about, though, if 13 years ago, if I was a public figure and social media, I'd be a train wreck. Like, I would have been, it's crazy.
I'm glad that it didn't exist when I was 21, because I would have been popping off.
It would have either enhanced your career or destroyed your career.
Possibly
one or the other.
Destroyed, yeah.
How hard is it to maintain a band over all these years? Like, it's got to be brutal, the chemistry, to get along, to want to do the same things. How was it the process for you guys?
It's totally hard. It's wonderful at times, but it's a lot of hard work. It's like, even when everything's functioning great, it's a lot of hard work. It's like a marriage, but it's like 5 people and 5 different needs and wants and desires and lives that are separate from the music, and just styles. It's just everything. It's a lot of balancing, but when it all comes together right, it's so rewarding. There's nothing like the magic that happens when everybody's in the zone together, in the pocket, on stage, playing at the same time, and everybody's on for just a second. I mean, like, live is all about, you know, oops, I messed up, but I made it look like an ad lib, and oops, somebody fell down over here because we don't have their rug tonight or whatever. But when everybody's in it, in that moment, in that magic on stage, it's just wonderful.
Coolest moment. What was your coolest moment?
Oh, I don't know. Coolest moment? What do you mean? Give me a category.
Mind-blowing moment. Like, this is my life. Holy shit, how did this just happen?
Gosh, I don't want to always tell the same stories because there have been so many cool moments like that. But I think about this time, since we're talking about live, I always remember this show that we did in Athens. We've had a really great time touring the whole world. Like, America rocks, but we've been able to go play massive shows overseas.
Yep.
So Europe's always been great for us, and we were in Athens. I don't remember when. I think it was probably the Open World
03.
Tour. Well, we were there then.
04.
We went there.
As I like to say, 04.
Yeah, probably 04. And we were playing in this place that was an outdoor venue. It was just open, but it was almost like the earth like made it. It was just almost like there's like this is the way I remember it. It could be totally not even true. But it was like this place where the crowd naturally fit into this open space, and there was all these big rocks in the distance, like faces of rocks. And the lights starting to go down, and the sound was really bad. Like our monitors weren't working, and the stage was like a piece of wood. So we're just like, can't hear anything, and the crowd was so into it, just screaming. And I'm laughing because part of the reason I can't hear myself is because the crowd is singing so loud. And that is just, I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about how beautiful it was. Anyway, lights had gone down, it had gotten dark, and I was at the piano and playing my Immortal.
Which is one of my favorite songs, by the way. I have it on my iPod. I listen to it all the time.
Thank you.
Gotta tell you.
So I looked out for a second, because you're just in the zone, eyes closed, right? Just playing. And I look out into the crowd, and I realized that not only this sold out big place was full of people holding up lighters, just kind of before cell phones, so dating it now.
Everyone did the lighters.
Yeah, lighters. But then I noticed that up on those rocks all across from us, super far away, it felt like a mile away, I'm sure it wasn't a mile, but far, there was lights up there too, all along the rocks, because people had climbed up the rocks to get a chance to see. And they were singing too, I know it. I just felt like the whole world was singing at me, and I couldn't even hear myself, and I just kind of stopped singing and like listened and felt it. And I don't often get goosebumps on stage, like literally, but I did. It was just like, whoa, this is bigger than me.
Do you ever get tired of the old stuff? Do you enjoy doing the old
I
stuff?
do get tired of the old stuff, yeah.
Because it's funny, I was just reading a whole article on Britney Spears, how when she has to do like Baby Hit Me One More Time, she's
Yes.
ready to poke her eyes out.
Totally.
And I wonder, it's like, here you have these like incredible songs that have blown you up, but it's like 13 years later, and that's what people want. And
Yeah.
that's like the hard thing. Like,
And the songs on Fallen, which are our most famous songs, like a lot of those were written when I was a teenager.
it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's like, it's really funny. It's kind of frustrating.
Did they have a meaning to you? Like when you're writing this
yeah.
song, was it like a personal
sure.
moment you're going through, a
Yeah.
relationship or whatever?
All of it, all of my lyrics are very personal. It's my open diary.
Is it tough to revisit them sometimes?
Yeah, but usually it's not because of like, oh, that's a pain that I felt that I don't want to think about right now. It's usually more about, wow, I could do that better now. And if only we'd done it now and I could have fixed those lyrics and made them a little less juvenile.
I think it's great. I really
Thanks.
love your music. Well, congratulations on the new children's
so
album.
much.
It's like, yeah, when our producer was like, Amy Lee has a new children's album, I'm like, Amy Lee Evanescence? I'm
Right.
like, how cool is that? And here you are. Why? That's why
awesome.
my first question had to be, how does Amy Lee from Evanescence have a children's album?
Just have a kid, it'll surprise you.
I am a kid. I don't know if I could actually take care of one. I wouldn't be writing children's albums, that's for sure.
You don't know. I didn't think I would be either.
Here you are. Do you envision another one happening?
Oh, I don't know. You mean the album or a kid?
Actually, the album, but I don't want to get too personal. No, the album.
I don't know, and I'm not ready to think about it.
I like
But
that.
it
You're
counts.
awesome.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thanks for
Everybody
having
check
me.
out Amy Lee's new children's album.